It's literally been 10 months since I filmed my last video. I hope somebody missed me. But yes, I'm back. I'm doing a lot of things. So this video I'm going to be talking about what I'm currently reading, what I have been reading, and what I have not liked that I did read. So there's just a lot going on and I've been very busy. And there are a couple reasons for that. Number one, I started working at Disneyland last year and things just got really busy for me because I was working a lot of night shifts and I didn't have a lot of energy in the morning to come and film videos. And then I met my boyfriend at Disneyland and we started spending a lot of time together, so that also led to not making videos. And then I wasn't reading a lot because I just didn't feel like it, so there was nothing to make videos about. And then I was taking a lot of trips and it was just like a lot of things coming together. And then I moved to London, which is where I am right now, for my master's program, so obviously that took a lot of time because I had to get my visa together. And here I am, I'm finally back, and I hopefully am going to start filming some more stuff because I have more free time than I thought I would with my master's program, and I just feel that creative bug again, and I've been reading a lot. So at the very beginning of the year, I started reading the Ember and Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir, and I blew through the first two. They were fantastic and amazing. I really liked them. And then I was able to borrow an arc from Ali. I'll leave her link down below. She's awesome. I love Ali. We go to Disneyland together a lot. Not anymore though, because I'm in London. I miss her. Anyway, she so kindly lent me the arc of A Reaper at the Gates, so I was able to read that before it was released, and I really enjoyed that one too. Probably one of my absolute favorite books of the year was I Stopped Somewhere by T.E. Carter. I freaking love that book. I love her writing style. I loved everything about that book. It made me cry. That's probably going to be my #1 read of the year. And I just found out the other day that I got an arc of her other novel, which I'm super excited to read. I'm going to have my boyfriend bring it to me here in London when he comes to visit in December because I just need to read it. I need it. I also read a ton of Jason Reynolds at the beginning of the year. So I started with Ghost, then I read Patina, and then I read his short little essay novel, For Everyone. I breezed through Long Way Down, and that was it. But then I also met him at the LA Times Book Festival last year, and he's awesome and amazing as usual. This is the second time I've met him, so I got a bunch of stuff signed, and it was just really, really cool. I really like him. Then I also read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I wanted to read this book before the movie came out because I really wanted to go see it with my boyfriend, and we did, and we really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the novel as well. It was really good. Super quick reading, and it's something that I definitely recommend that people pick up. I finally picked up something of V.E. Schwab's, or Victoria Schwab's, and I picked up A Darker Shade of Magic, which I really enjoyed. I haven't read the rest of the series yet because I got distracted by other books, and I know she's been having a ton of stuff come out recently, so I just need to like sit down and go through her entire catalog of books essentially. The OMG Check Please comic that's been really popular on Tumblr for the past couple of years is finally being published into a book, and I got an arc of that at Y'all West last year, which was really awesome, and I started reading that and I just flew through it. Obviously I've already read the story before, but it's kind of different to read it in a novel format. If those of you aren't familiar with it, OMG Check Please is a comic about this kid who goes to college and plays on the hockey team. He makes pies, he's gay, there's a lot of really fun stuff going on. It's just really awesome. I also picked up another Joan Didion novel. As most people know, Joan Didion is like one of my favorite authors ever. So I picked up finally one of her fiction novels, and that was Played as It Lays. I've never read any of her fiction stuff, and I just really enjoyed that. I was kind of surprised how much I liked it because I didn't think that I would. I don't know why. I mean, she's my favorite, but it's different when you go from nonfiction to fiction. But I really enjoyed it, so I need to always read more of her stuff. So a long time ago when I was in high school, I read the Anna and the French Kiss series. Actually only the first one, and then I took it upon myself this year to finally finish it. Blew through all of them in a couple days. So I read Anna and the French Kiss, and then I quickly moved on to Lola and the Boy Next Door, and then Isla and the Happily Ever After. I think I liked Lola's story the best, and then maybe Anna's, and then Isla's, but they're all really, really fun novels. I also read Everything Everything. I sped through that on a plane ride to Colorado where I had to go to a wedding with my boyfriend. I really liked that. I really liked the movie when I watched it earlier this year. My boyfriend hated it, but I like it. No, I don't want to read your emails right now. I also read We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I've been meaning to read this for a really long time since I read Genuine Fraud last year and I really enjoyed it, and everyone said We Were Liars was way better, but I actually enjoyed Genuine Fraud more than We Were Liars, but they were both really good. And then I reread To All the Boys I Loved Before because again, I wanted to watch the movie with my boyfriend. So I reread it and I really enjoyed it more than I thought I did the first time. It was just a really fun book. I really like it, but I haven't read the next two yet. I've been meaning to. And then I also reread Crazy Rich Asians because again, I wanted to go see the movie with my boyfriend. Another novel that I enjoyed more, I think this time around, when I first read it, I got an arc of it when I was in high school, and I think I don't know, maybe like the irony and like the witticisms of it just kind of went over my head, but this time I enjoyed it much more. And obviously I had the movie kind of in the forefront of my mind, and I really enjoyed the movie. I went and saw it the opening weekend in California, and then I saw it again here in London because I just loved it so much. And then I immediately after that read China Rich Girlfriend on the plane ride here to London, and so I just kind of sped through that. Then I read Rich People Problems, which again, sped through, loved it. I love this series, it's really fun. I wish he would write more because I need more of his writing. It's so good. I've been using the libraries a lot here in London. I love them. I'm a big advocate for libraries, you know this. I love libraries. So I read The Wrath and the Dawn, and then I quickly moved on to The Rose and the Dagger. Both were really, really awesome. I've had them on my shelves at home for a really long time, but I've never picked them up for some reason, even though everyone told me they're really good. I don't know what's wrong with me, but anyway, I read them and I really enjoyed them. Before I left for London, my boyfriend and I kind of exchanged gifts with each other, so he gave me like a sweatshirt and a couple t-shirts that I could take with me, and then I gave him I think a t-shirt. Oh, and we exchanged our favorite books. So I gave him one of my copies of The Book Thief so he could read that while I was gone. And he gave me his copy of Calvin and Hobbes. He loves Calvin and Hobbes. And I don't know, I've never like really read the comics. I don't know why, I don't know, I wasn't a big comics person growing up, but I sped through this one night when I was really missing him, and I loved it. I can totally see why he loves it. It's just really fun. I really like the comics that are kind of about the parents too, because like you kind of remember like how it is to be a kid, but now that I'm older, I also see like the parent side of things, and I just really like this, and made me think of him. I also read I'll Give You the Sun, something else that I've had on my bookshelf back at home for a really long time, but I've never read, and I really enjoyed that one too. It was much longer than I expected it to be, and much deeper than I expected it to be. I also recently read The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, another book that I've had on my bookshelf forever and I've never read. The main character and I have the same name, which is really fun and sometimes odd to read, but I love that. I've met Samantha Shannon, I think like 2 or 3 years ago. She was really nice. So I want to read the rest of the series because I loved this. And right now I'm actually reading The Mime Order and making my way through that. So then I can read the 3rd one, and then I don't know when the 4th one's coming out, but I'm just, oh, I love this series. Okay, so let's talk about a couple books that I've read this year that I really have not liked. Okay, so the first one being On the Edge. I didn't really like this one just because I think it felt kind of cliche and just, I don't know, maybe it wasn't my age range. I just didn't really like it. I think I wanted it to kind of be like the Perfect Chemistry series by Simone Elkelis, but I just didn't like this at all. And then one other one was something that I bought a while ago, I think like 3 or 4 years ago on my Kindle because it was like 99 cents or something, and that's Page in Progress. I honestly only really bought this book because the main character had the same name as me, and I was going through this weird period where I was reading a lot of new adult romance books, but this I just really didn't like. I didn't like the writing style. I just didn't connect with it. So another one that I didn't really like that I also bought on my Kindle because I think it was like 99 cents or something was How Not to Date a Prince. This was the only thing on the Kindle app on my phone and was like pretty much the only thing I could read on the tube because, as you know, if you take the tube there's like 0 service down there, so it wasn't like I could just like scroll through Twitter or something. So I was reading it on the tube, but I didn't like it because all the characters talked with like so many exclamation points and they were just so excited about everything. And I'm not that type of person at all, and I found it really annoying. I also think the characters just didn't connect with each other. There was romances that popped out of nowhere, and then I was suddenly like, who are these characters? So just the whole thing, I didn't really like it. I think it had a lot of potential, but it just didn't come through. Okay, so of course, as I'm doing my master's program, I'm doing a lot of required reading, and as most people know, I hate required reading. I think it's often terrible, you know, gotta power through, gotta get that degree. So one of the first books that I had to read for required reading that I didn't really enjoy was Barbershop Chronicles. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name, but I think it just wasn't a play for me, and I think that was another reason was I'm not a big fan of plays to begin with. They're just not my thing, so didn't really enjoy this one. And then another one I had to read for that class was The Political History of Smack and Crack. Again, a novel that just isn't for me. I don't know like the political history really of England, and maybe someone who grew up in the time period that this takes place during would know a little bit more, but I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the style that they wrote the play in either, because I had no idea who was talking half the time, so this one was not for me. However, one that I did enjoy that I had to read was One for Sorrow by Cordelia Lynn. Awesome play. I really enjoyed this. I'll probably keep this one after my program is done. I really liked this. And obviously I'm doing other required reading right now, but it's not something that I've finished yet. And then another required reading book that I'm reading right now for class that I'm not enjoying is Start With Why. This book feels so repetitive, like it could honestly be half the length that it is right now. It also feels very dated, like a lot of the companies and things that he talks about are from the mid-2000s, so I think this book was published in 2008 and it's obviously 10 years old and it just needs an update, and I think it would help a lot, but otherwise I just really don't like it. It's a marketing book and I'm not a marketing major, so this is not for me at all. Yeah, Start With Why. Why do I have to read this? Am I right? I'm not funny. Okay, so all of that being said, this is what I'm currently reading. I previously talked about the Mime Order, so obviously I'm reading that. I'm also reading Start With Why because I have to read it for class, but I'm also reading Blanca and Roja. I'm listening to the audiobook. I got an arc of it in the summertime, but I just never got around to it. I didn't have time, and like I said earlier, I wasn't motivated to read. So now I'm listening to the audiobook and it has like 4 different people narrating each character, which is really interesting. I really like that. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm just kind of flying through it here and there. Because again, I'm listening to it on the tube, so I get like about a hour done each day. I also love Anne-Marie McLemore. Wild Beauty was one of my favorite books of last year, so I think this is going to be another favorite. I'm also rereading Little Women. I haven't read this since I was a kid, and every time I read this I think of my mom because she was the one who originally told me to read it when I was younger. I love this book. I always forget how much I like this, so I'm making my way through this here and there. I like reading it in parts because it feels kind of like a serial series, like kind of like what Charles Dickens originally did when he published his work like in newspapers and stuff. So I kind of like taking my time with this and not just like reading it straight through. But again, really enjoying this. This is like one of my favorite winter reads. Perfect to read in London where it's all rainy and gloomy, just like today. I'm also kind of half listening to the audiobook for The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. I'm so excited because I finally get to meet Markus Zusak in November. That's super exciting, and I get to get some stuff signed, and he's going to talk about his new book. I got The Bridge of Clay on audiobook, and I'm going to be listening to that after Blanca and Roja, but if I don't finish listening to the audiobook for this in time by when the audiobook has to go back to the library, I think I'm just gonna sit down and read it again because I haven't reread it since the first time I did. I need to because this is my favorite book of all time and I love Markus Zusak's writing, so I need to do it. And last but not least, I'm slowly making my way through Victoria the Queen. Queen Victoria is my favorite queen. I love learning about her, but obviously this thing is massive, and I have a lot of other stuff I have to read for school, so I just like taking my time again through this and reading like a chapter here and there. As you can tell, I haven't gotten very far. I love Queen Victoria. I love the series Victoria. If you watch that on Masterpiece, or I think it's on ITV here in jolly old England. Love it. Can't wait to read more of this. And that is it. That's kind of what I've been reading, what I haven't liked, what I'm currently reading. Very excited to be making more videos, so if you guys have any suggestions of stuff you'd like to see or hear, definitely let me know in the comments. As always, you can find like my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff down there. Hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye! And that being said too, I read Rich People Problems. No. I read Crazy Rich Girlfriend. No. What are these books called? And then when I got here to London, I read, what is this called?